If you are sick of the same old workout, want to learn how to box, or currently an amateur or professional boxer, we have a USA licensed boxing coach committed to making you better. STL Boxing Academy prides ourselves on teaching all clients the correct form and technique used in boxing. Our trainers' love for the sport is contagious, which makes each session fun, challenging, and educational. But be prepared to work, because boxing is a 2-for-1 cardio and strength workout that sculpts every muscle in your body. Follow us on Facebook or Instagram at STL Boxing Academy, where you can book your one-on-one session with one of our skilled trainers. All ages welcomed. Let's get to work.
Welcome to the season finale of season 1 of the podcast Pushed. I am your host, JP CEO. I am going to start out and all throughout the show just shout out the folks who supported this. The podcast Push was kind of grown out of the pandemic, so it wasn't something that incubated for a long time. It just happened, and I'm grateful for, all the support. I do have a guest, and before I start rambling, I'm going to let her introduce herself so you can know how amazing she is and what she means to the St. Louis community. So, Ebony.
I absolutely promise I did not pay her to say that, but thank you so much, JP. I'm Ebony Beadle. I am one of the previous owners of Qtopia 2 Billiards Bar and Grill. More recently, co-owner of 2Q Bar and Grill right down the street on West Florissant from the initial, original location of Qtopia, about a half a mile down the road. I am also a senior trust consultant for the Edward Jones Trust Company. I've worked for that financial services group for the last 20 plus years. And I'm also the founder of UMAD and Damu clothing line.
Told you. Lots of dopeness. So Ebony is going to join me, and we're going to chop it up a little bit, talk about what we're listening to, entrepreneurship, of course. But as promised, I want to make sure that I shout out TC, the executive, Miss Tina. She has been more than 100% supporting the platform, so I want to make sure that we shout her out. She has a kidpreneur program that, of course, has been impacted by COVID-19, but she is still, checking in with the kids, doing things with them virtually. So shout out to Tina. So we're going to dive right in and talk about, what made you jump into entrepreneurship?
It's crazy. I was in my previous to this life, chapter of my life, I was married to what I call a serial entrepreneur. And so, throughout my life, I had a lot of creativity, but I did not have a lot of courage to jump out there and use the creativity in an entrepreneurial type way. So I married this man, and he was completely, jumping to the fire. And that's where we came up with the name Serial Entrepreneur. We actually created an LLC under that name, Serial Entrepreneur.
Wow.
And from the time that I met him until the time we got a divorce, we probably had 20 different ventures, from barber and beauty shops to landscaping to a barbecue restaurant. And so he really instilled, although, the marriage didn't work out, but I will say what I did get from the marriage is a great child and an entrepreneurial spirit, or the courage to jump out there and do things and know and not to be afraid to fail and start over again. And so my first experience in entrepreneurship was really a barber shop or a beauty shop. He was one of the initial owners of one of the biggest barbershops in St. Louis, 314 Hair Gallery. So he's one of the co-owners of that, and inspired me to open a salon, which was a studio salon, one of the first studio salons owned by African Americans on the backside of that. And so we opened that up, and there were 8 stations, private studio salons for barbers and beauticians. And from that, it was on the same lot as the original Qtopia.
I remember.
You remember Harold, the original owner of Qtopia? And so
yes.
we would, at lunchtime or, in the evening go over there when Qtopia opened and hang out with Harold and get some wings and good, strong drink. And Harold actually became one of my best friends. And I would go over there and sit and talk with him. He was real wise. People thought he was older than he was because he had some health issues, but he was extremely wise. So I would sit there and talk to him real direct, you know what I mean? And no candor, just straightforward.
Yeah.
He's
incredible.
Exactly.
He's incredible.
Tell him how it is. It was his approach. And so when he passed away, it was crazy because right before he passed away, there was a car that ran into the side of Qtopia's building. And it was the second time that it happened. But at the point in time, the first time he got the wall fixed and got everything back up and running. The second time, his health had failed to a point where the building never opened back up.
Right.
So after he passed away, the operations manager and the kitchen manager approached me and said, "Hey, there's a community of people roaming around out here like zombies. We need to do something to get, this place back going." And I said, I never even wanted to step foot in there again after Harold passed away. But, after a little bit of talk and convincing and seeing some of the zombies roaming around North County with no home, some of the regulars, I sat in my bed for about 3 months with a laptop on my lap, devised a business plan, and, the rest is history.
Wow.
And I still, from that day on, I always was asking myself and asking God, like, why? I don't know why I was put in this position. I don't never want to own a bar. I never want to own a club, none of that. And about 6 months in, I started realizing why I was put in a position and my business partners to this day make fun of me because they say, if we allowed her to, she would give away every single dime that we made.
Wow.
But
so we're gonna take a quick break.
Okay.
And then because I want to talk a little bit more about that, and then we'll dig into motivation at the same time. So we'll be right back with the podcast push.
Is it my imagination?
Join Real Talk with the Bishop live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 7 a.m. on Facebook at Real Talk with the Bishop and on Instagram at CScottMin.
We're back. Podcast push, season 1, season finale. I cannot believe it. We made it. Y'all can't see him, but Andy, we made it. We did it. We've had some good stuff happen though. We've had some great guests. We had a boxing demo. My trainer threatened me on an episode of the podcast because I had her do a boxing demo in her regular clothes. So it's been a fun journey. I'm looking forward to more. But Ebony, you were talking about Harold, and I want to touch on that like really, really quickly. Like an incredible man, absolutely incredible. Was always encouraging, but he didn't fluff. And I think that was what I enjoyed about him the most. Like, he was always very helpful, but he didn't fluff. It is what it is, and that's what it was. So may he continue to rest in peace. But you were talking about right at 6 months in with the business.
Right. Yeah, because I was still questioning myself the whole way in. And 6 months in, I had a revelation because the revenue that was coming in allowed us to really help individuals in the urban community. And so we did things like, and a lot of our staff and employees, they weren't in a position to like where they had credit to purchase homes or take loans out. So we actually implemented a program that offered interest-free loans to our employees for things like, down payments for apartments or cars.
That's incredible.
My favorite was one of our cooks. He wanted to buy an engagement ring, and his credit wasn't good enough to get the ring from the jewelry store, and so we gave him a interest-free loan, and he proposed to his fiance. So that was probably one of my favorite. And, we did other things. We partnered with, Corey Johnson. We partnered with Corey Johnson, and we created a program called the POOL program. It's an acronym for providing opportunities otherwise lost, where we would bring kids in. We'd have some pool pros come in and teach them the basics of pool, some tricks, also virtue and life lessons. And then we'd have a graduation ceremony. Where we would, have a cake and present them with like pool sticks, and that went on. We did that for 3 or 4 years, and it was really successful. And the kids enjoyed it. And it was, what people don't realize is a lot of times, the county kids or what they used to call the latchkey kids sometimes can be a little bit more risk than the city kids because there's more programs and resources. So the North County doesn't have Matthew Dickey and Herbert Hoover. So those kids that are left at home without, supervision for those hours, they really don't have anything to do. So they're at risk of getting in more trouble, an idle mind.
You're right about that.
And so we were looking for things and opportunities to do things to help those kids that are in the county have something to do and have something to aspire to. So that's where that really came
fantastic.
from.
I remember the pool program, and you guys did a lot of things outside of just entertainment. You guys were always involved in the community, which is why, as much as I could, I made sure that I came through and supported, and you supported me.
You always supported. You always did.
Supported
we appreciate
it. I remember, I think it was maybe the second or third time D Woods was here, and we were like, she was just like, I want to just go somewhere and kind of chill, like, and not get bombarded or anything like that. And of course, we came to Qtopia, and you personally took care of us. And that still to this day, when I talk to her, she still mentions like that, and of course some of the dance classes she did and things like that.
Right.
She enjoyed, but I didn't get to come out often because I was usually doing stuff myself.
Right.
But when I did, I was always taken care of. So, it's a beautiful thing, and again, I think it's important, like you just nailed it by saying the revenue you were bringing in, you were able to give back and lead with love is what I call it for the employees. Like I didn't know that. That's incredible. Like where do you hear that? Where do you hear an employee able to get a loan, to support whatever they're trying to do? Like that's incredible. So shout out to you guys for doing that. And so we have another quick break, and when we come back from the break, let's talk about motivation. What do you do? What do you listen to? What's your hype music in the morning? Somebody asked me that question, and they were floored by my answer. So I'm interested in seeing what your hype music is. We'll be right back with the podcast push.
A fragment of it I create.
Check out TB2, JPCEO, and DJ Radar on Testimony Tuesday Radio. Where can you listen? Head over to www.unheardmedia.biz to check out all the previous episodes and mixes. Testimony Tuesday Radio is also available on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Alexa, Pandora, iHeart, Anchor, and more. So go ahead and praise your way with Testimony Tuesday Radio.
I bought this over and over and over and over again.
We're back with Ebony, and this conversation has been incredible. I'm gonna be really excited when we air this, because I bet you a lot of people are gonna be floored, just like I was. Like, wow, like you don't. And I think the nightlife gets a bad rep, right?
Absolutely.
And I don't think people highlight some of the things that people do. Like even at 2Q. You guys were doing that vendor event. I was so floored when I walked in. I was like, wait, so what's the cost? And they was like, nothing. They just show up and sell their product. Wait a minute. What? So they were allowing, and I'll let you tell it. I walked in. I was meeting some folks there. Shout out to the Trotters, St. Louis Trotters. And I start seeing all these tables get set up. And I'm like, what is going on? And they were allowing, because the holidays were coming, businesses to come in and sell their products. So kind of tell us, like, where did that idea come from and the impact?
So the idea really came from what I witnessed during the civil unrest of all the events that have been taking place over the past year. And watching major corporations and major businesses that would not stand up and say anything. And knowing the purchasing power that the urban community has, I started what started off being what I called a 90-day urban brand campaign, where I vowed not to purchase anything that I could from anybody else but an urban vendor or service. Nice. And so I would push that out on my social media. And then I said, what can I do to do a little bit more? And I had a relationship with Tanya from Boutique, and she does a vendor event at a bigger vendor event every month at a different place. Okay. But I said, what can we do to not only, drum up business a little bit in the middle of the week, but also provide an opportunity for entrepreneurs. And so really all we encourage them to do is at least buy a drink, come in, you can set up, you don't have a vendor fee, and it's an opportunity to not only make some money, but network, meet some new people, and really give people an opportunity, a platform to sell their product, and give other people, the purchasers, the opportunity to understand that there's bigger options than major corporations for certain things you can purchase from.
Yeah, it was really good. It was really a great experience. So, again, things people don't know, in the nightlife, you see it in the news all the time, North County this, North County that, but there are some amazing things that happen that don't get to hit the media. So let's talk motivation. What are you listening to, and what are you doing to stay motivated on those days where you just don't feel like it?
So honestly, my number one motivator is music. I'm a music lover of all genres. So today, I said, what is my soul telling me to listen to? So today was a Nina Simone day. So I'm all day Nina Simone. During the day, I live a dual life. So during the day, I work corporate America, kind of in the financial services, estate planning, trust, wealth management world. And so at night, I have to transition and do a dual life, and at night, transition into the urban nightlife club scene. So today, to rock out, I was listening to Nina Simone, and it just really depends on how I wake up and what I know I have to deal with, because a lot of my trust specialists or people that work for me, work with me, they're not urban. They're Anglo, middle class, upper middle class people. Right. So sometimes I say, today is a trap music day, y'all. So I'm gonna turn on my Jay-Z and my Jeezy and rock out, because I need to get some stuff done. And so they laugh at me. So it could be B.B. King, it could be Jay-Z, it could be Nina Simone, it could be Maroon 5. It just depends on what I wake up and how I'm feeling and what motivation I need. And I know which artists to go to for different motivation.
You know what? I can relate to that. I think certain days, I think if I need to remain calm, right? Because, there are certain clients and certain situations that,
right.
So you need to remain calm. So that determines the playlist. But I've fallen in love with boxing training. It has become therapeutic.
Really?
Yes.
I might need to try that.
Yeah, STL Boxing Academy. I shout them out all the time. They keep me motivated. It is it's a great workout. Like I'm sore right now. It's a total body workout. Like,
okay, I might have to go, but you'd have to go with me the first time. Because,
Absolutely. They're great people. I've known them for a very long time. I used to manage artists.
Yeah.
And they produce music for the R&B group Motre that I used to manage. And so I've known them a long, long time. They're like family. So it's really good. So we'll have to coordinate, and you got to try it. You'll have a good time. So we're going to take another break. I want to shout out D Cannon Arts Apparel. D Cannon helps me not have to worry about what I'm going to put on. Because, as y'all know, we usually come to the studio toe up. So we'll be back to talk with Ebony a little bit more on the podcast push.
If you are sick of the same old workout, Want to learn how to box or currently an amateur or professional boxer? We have a USA licensed boxing coach committed to making you better. STL Boxing Academy prides ourselves on teaching all clients the correct form and technique used in boxing. Our trainers' love for the sport is contagious, which makes each session fun, challenging, and educational. But be prepared to work because boxing is a 2-for-1 cardio and strength workout that sculpts every muscle in your body. Follow us on Facebook or Instagram at STL Boxing Academy, where you can book your one-on-one session with one of our skilled trainers. All ages welcomed. Let's get to work.
All right, so we're back. Ebony's still here, holding it down with me for the season finale. I'm still saying that because it's unbelievable. The season finale of season 1. Shout out to the Petty Pimps. That's TB2 and DJ Radar. You guys know I co-host Testimony Tuesday Radio with these guys, and we filmed the season finale for season 3, which is crazy to me that we've been going 3 seasons for that. So shout out to those guys. They drive me crazy, but they're my partners for life. I also want to shout out STL Boxing Academy. They keep me from catching cases. They let me hit stuff when I sometimes want to hit people. So shout out to them. So let's talk about the clothing.
Oh, the clothing line.
Yeah, talk about the clothing line, like the inspiration for that. In any, anything you have coming up.
Okay. So the clothing line, You Mad, it stemmed from actually my divorce. I had a bitter divorce, and my ex-husband, I'm not a vindictive person at all, but my ex-husband was a little, divorce is hard, and he was a little mean to me throughout that. And I felt like he didn't want me to prosper. He didn't want me to, he had no desire to see me win. And so I was just devastated and hurt because we were friends too. And so, what I initially did, I was like, I went to school for fashion design and merchandising years and years ago.
Wow.
I started my career. I'd been designing clothes and drawing clothes since I was about 6 years old, my mom said. So I always knew that I had a place somewhere in the fashion world, but I needed to turn this negative energy that I was getting from my ex-husband into something positive, and I turned it into a clothing line. So it was called You Mad. It was for the people that said that you couldn't. They said that you wouldn't, but you did. And so you ask them, you mad? And that's really where the whole thought process was, me trying to channel negative energy into something positive. And so that's the urban line, and this is our 5th year. This is the 5th year for You Mad. We actually have a couture line that is in its 3rd year. It's called Damn You. It's You Mad backwards, or Damn You. It's really Damn You, but if you flip You Mad around, it's Damn You, and that sounds more French and more fashionable, so we say it like that. My business partner, Skylar Barnes, he's instrumental in helping get the brand off the ground. We've done city tours, pop-up shops. We're available for purchase, right now through Instagram and Facebook. But we just try to be really creative. We've had a lot of celebrities pop up in our stuff. Rashida, you'll oftentimes see her in one of the signature You Mad jackets.
I caught that.
You caught
that? I did catch. I did see that.
Lil Mo we've seen Lil Mo in our jackets. A lot of different celebrities have.
Nice.
Yeah, and so we're growing. I think now, since I'm not focused so much more on the club life, I have a little bit more opportunity and creativity to focus on the clothing line. So watch out for more to come from You Mad.
Nice. And by the way, Mr. Skylar stays clean.
Stays clean.
Stays every time I see him flawless.
Absolutely. Yep.
Flawless,
that's him
with the biggest smile on his face.
Yeah.
Flawless. I want to also mention throughout the episode, you'll be hearing a song called Amen by Valencia. So make sure you follow her on Spotify. She's an incredibly talented artist.
She from here?
Yeah, she's from here. She has some great music out there. Stream, download, make sure you support her. I also want to shout out Purpose Coach Tiara Armin. Tiara is another person like Tina, 100% support from day one. No matter what was going on, always support.
You find the good ones. You always find the good ones.
So I gotta shout them out. Shout out to my better half. She definitely Drea, who you guys can't see, but she's actually directing and producing right now.
An excellent job.
Yeah. So definitely listens to my crazy ideas and all the madness that I try to produce. That's a skill. People don't understand that. Like it takes a special kind of person to be with somebody like me. It does. It really does. So shout out to Drea for that. Shout out to Roderick Evans and Lonnie at TC Graphics, great supporter. Simple Designs by Tiara. Shout out to her. Tiara does, I would say, 98% of any graphic that you see from me.
Oh, okay.
Simple Designs by Tiara. Logos, the whole nine. So shout out to her for all of her support and all of her work to get things done in a timely fashion when I need them. So before we close out, tell people how to find you, how to connect, how to get some gear.
I'd say the number one way to connect with me is via Instagram. It's Ebony Beetle. I use my real name. I'm not hiding from anybody. And then YouMad_design is the clothing line. So go out there and follow us. Thanks so much for having me on. I feel so honored to be on the finale.
More than a pleasure. And that, I just thought about something. One thing that you say all the time on your post is what?
Push. I promise you can.
Push. I promise you can. This is season 1 finale. I am so grateful. Thank you to everyone who's participated, who supported. Look out for season 2. I'm your host, JP CEO. Peace.
Is it my imagination? A fragment of it I created. Is it my interpretation that's got me making you my baby? I wrote this over and over and over and over again, just to make you understand.